Welcome back, everyone. In our last session, we explored the foundations of social media data, what it is, how it's generated, and its relevance across sectors. Today, we're going deeper. We'll walk through the essential methods of collecting and analyzing social media data. And we won't just look at the technical how-tos. We'll also explore the strategic, ethical, and even philosophical dimensions of this increasingly powerful resource. Because social media data is more than just numbers. It's a reflection of human behavior, sentiment, and relationships in digital spaces. Let's begin with how this data is actually collected. There are multiple ways to gather social media data, and the method you choose really depends on the scale of your work, your technical capacity, and, importantly, your ethical responsibilities. First, we have the most basic form, manual data collection. This involves logging into platforms like Facebook or LinkedIn and collecting data by hand. You might read public posts, take screenshots, copy and paste quotes, or track hashtag usage. This is especially useful for qualitative research or for small studies, say, a university project exploring adult learners in a local Facebook group. It's time-consuming but precise, and it gives you rich, contextual insight into what people are actually saying. Next, we step into automation with web scraping. This uses software to extract large volumes of data from social media pages. For example, a researcher might use tools like Beautiful Soup or Scrappy to gather thousands of tweets on a trending topic. But, and this is critical, many platforms prohibit scraping in their terms of service. Ethical and legal compliance must be your top priority, which brings us to a more structured and compliant method, API-based collection. APIs, or application programming interfaces, are tools provided by platforms themselves. They let you fetch structured data, tweets, Facebook page analytics, YouTube comments, TikTok video metrics, and so on. APIs like Twitter's or Facebook's Graph API are go-to options for those working on larger-scale studies or building real-time dashboards. Then we have surveys and polls, often embedded in Instagram stories, Facebook posts, or LinkedIn feeds. These offer direct, user-consented data, great for educational institutions testing preferences or NGOs gauging awareness levels. And finally, third-party data providers. These firms aggregate massive data sets from multiple platforms, either through APIs or platform partnerships, and then clean and structure the data for clients. Think of this like buying a ready-made, high-quality data set. It's efficient, but often expensive, and still bound by the same privacy laws you'd be subject to if collecting the data yourself. Once data is collected, the real magic begins: analysis. There are many tools, each suited to different tasks and skill levels. Let's break this down into categories. First, native platform analytics, like Facebook Insights, Twitter Analytics, and LinkedIn Page Analytics, offer built-in dashboards for tracking impressions, engagement, follower growth, and demographics. They're great starting points. But to go further, we use tools like Hootsuite, Sprout Social, or Brandwatch. These platforms go beyond just showing you who liked your post. They help you understand why and what that says about audience sentiment. That brings us to sentiment analysis, a technique that uses AI to categorize posts as positive, negative, or neutral. Tools like the Google Cloud Natural Language API or IBM Watson can sift through thousands of comments to gauge public mood. This is invaluable for brand monitoring or educational institutions analyzing student feedback in real time. Visualization tools like Tableau, Google Data Studio, and Power BI help transform raw numbers into interactive dashboards. You might visualize spikes in engagement after launching a new course, or compare sentiment across regions or age groups. For more technical users, predictive analytics, powered by tools like TensorFlow or Scikit-learn, enable forecasting. For instance, an online learning platform could predict what topics will trend next quarter based on current discussions on LinkedIn. And then there's NVivo, which is fantastic for qualitative content analysis, especially useful in academic or social research, where understanding nuance, tone, and underlying themes is key. Now let's address the elephant in the room: ethics and best practices. Just because data is publicly available doesn't mean it's fair game. User privacy must be respected. That means never collecting private data without consent, avoiding data from private groups or chats unless explicitly permitted, and following platform rules. Scraping prohibited data can result in bans or lawsuits. Always anonymize personal data. If you're analyzing a comment thread on public policy, strip away names and identifiers. And if you're publishing your findings, be transparent. Say where you got the data, how you cleaned it, and what limitations your analysis might have. Another vital practice: be aware of biases. Social media users are not a perfect mirror of society. Not everyone is equally represented. You'll see overrepresentation from urban populations, younger users, and tech-savvy groups. Interpret your findings with caution. And use complementary data, like census statistics or survey results, to balance your insights. Finally, the analysis must be actionable. Whether you're in business, education, or government, your findings should drive decision-making. Adjust your marketing strategy, tweak your online curriculum, design a better awareness campaign. Let the data lead, but don't lose the human perspective. As we wrap up, it's worth reflecting on why this matters. Social media data gives us a living, breathing portrait of public discourse. It's fast, dynamic, messy, and incredibly rich with insight. From understanding what adult learners need, to tracking misinformation, or even predicting product trends, its power is undeniable. But with that power comes responsibility. The ability to collect and analyze this data should always be grounded in ethics, transparency, and respect for the people behind the numbers. Looking forward, we'll see more emphasis on decentralized platforms, user-owned data, and new tools like federated learning that keep data private while still enabling meaningful analysis. So whether you're an educator, a marketer, a policymaker, or a researcher, your ability to collect and interpret social media data ethically and effectively will be one of the most valuable skills you bring to the table. Thanks for being here today. In our next lesson, we'll dive into data visualization tools. Until then, keep exploring, stay curious, and remember, behind every data point is a human story. See you next time.